wait a second. Let me do something 1 minute. Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be reacting to one of Minute Earth's episodes, or should I say videos. And this should be a perfect one.
They mostly wanted him to receive a good education.
Like deadly.
This video is sponsored by Brilliant.
Hi, this is Kate from Minute Earth. Among animals, some species seem to have it all, and others don't. Today we're sharing 4 tales about winners and losers in the animal kingdom. Let's get right to it with a tale about tails. Many of the monkeys scampering around the forests of Central and South America have something special on their butts. An extra hand. Well, not exactly. It's a prehensile tail, a grasping appendage that helps the animals navigate the tall and treacherous canopy in search of fruits and leaves. In fact, these tails are so handy that monkeys in the Americas have evolved them 2 separate times, and they've evolved dozens of times in other mammals, reptiles, amphibians, and fish. But there's a big group of monkeys in which these handy appendages don't exist. In Africa and Asia, monkeys' tails are just tails, which is weird, because those monkeys also spend all day monkeying around in the canopy and could presumably use an extra hand for foraging too. So where are their special tails?
Oh yeah.
Our best guess is that the difference in tails is due to a difference in the forests where those
And also, by the way, Charlie sent me a new video. Don't play Among Us at 6 a.m. Just watch it now.
tails appear. The forests in Central and South America are chock full of vines.
Don't watch it after this video.
That monkeys use like tight ropes to traverse between trees. So having an extra grip is helpful for balance, and helpful in case of emergency. But on the other side of the world, at least in Asia where we have the most data, forests have fewer vines, and monkeys there often go to the ground to travel between trees. Prehensile tails take a lot of extra energy to operate, so it's possible that they just aren't useful enough to those monkeys to be worth having. On the other hand, there might be no good reason at all for the difference. By pure chance, monkeys might have evolved in one way on one side of the world, and in another way on the other. But considering prehensile tails evolved twice in monkeys in the Americas, the vine theory of appendage evolution is the easier explanation to latch onto. Plus, it's a pretty gripping tail.
Now that's a plus.
Okay, I would definitely have a prehensile tail if I could. Or I'd be a big, bad apex predator. They're definitely winners, right? Well, not necessarily. Allow us to explain. In song.
The food webs of the world all used to have so-called apex predators, like lions, tigers, and bears, at the very top. But humans have posed a major threat to apex predators by breaking up their habitats and hunting many of them to near extinction.
Number 6.
It was good to be king. We were trophic elite. Prey ate the plants and we ate their meat. Then this little ape called man wanted to compete.
He looks so surprised.
And as the humans spread and invaded globally, they broke up our habitats and killed us all rather fast. They were shooting us for sport or eating sheep. Lions, lynx, and seagulls. Our foes worldwide met precipitous decline. Leopards, wolves, and hammerheads were persecuted, leaving disarray behind. To throw shade about this for downgrade will simply open up space for some lesser grade so-called hunters.
These so-called hunters are the mesopredators. They're replacing apex predators all over the world, and they do things differently.
Skunk, raccoon, mahi,
mongoose,
cat shark, dogfish, jackal, large squid,
this song is
Fuche, woof.
I don't really like this song.
And we don't need a huge
I don't think it even has a taste at all.
Meso predators gonna move in. Say goodbye to our old foes. Yeah, what a relief. No competition or hunting. Meso predators are released. When farmers hunt down lions, just to protect lions. livestock. Nobody left to eat baboons. Who started eating all the crops? Sharks getting killed for the fins. Boom time for the raisin skates. But they eat all the bivalves. Humans left with an empty plate. Fence out all the dingoes. Foxes rise on a blink. And as the fox keeps hunting, little mammals go extinct. But we're not just thriving due to the apex crash. Living near humans is rich. We're sitting here eating up trash. Food chain, food chain, food chain, food chain, food chain, food chain, woof. Trophic cascades happen quick with apex gone and we're turned loose. We can't find my human side, rise up the food chain till we up.
The rule of mesopredators has wreaked havoc on many ecosystems. So in some places, humans have helped reintroduce some old-school apex predators to keep the mesopredators in check.
In Yellowstone, wish I'd been our home. We used to eat up coyotes, but as we were killed, coyotes were thrilled. It was a mouse and a rabbit feast, but that hurt the hawks, badgers and fox, who had relied on them for meat. But since we've returned, we're starting to learn that we can help other species.
Reintroducing wolves to Yellowstone helped restore the whole ecosystem, but most people don't want a wolf in their backyard, or a lion, tiger, or bear. So mesopredators will probably continue to rise to the top of the charts.
Food chain, food chain, food chain, food chain, food chain, food chain, woof.
What's good
Food chain, food chain, food chain, food chain, food chain, food chain, woof. Food chain, food chain, food chain, food.
Oh man, a lot of you. Good grammar
A lot of us
and spelling
really
are important, but if you want to write essays that inspire, I hated that video when we first put it out. But even the haters have to admit, food chain, food chain, food chain, food chain, food chain, food chain is a winner of a song. Anyway, this whole mesopredator thing is only one instance of how we humans have turned some animals into winners and others into losers.
About 1 million years ago, some intrepid black bears and ferrets crossed the Bering Land Bridge into North America. Over thousands of generations, the ferrets and the bears on different continents became different species, though they still look and act a lot alike. But the American bear and the Asian ferret are thriving, while the Asian bear and American ferret are at risk of extinction. Both
Our bears are at risk of extinction.
sets of cousins owe their uneven luck to another intrepid species, a hairless ape that began its rapid spread some 60,000 years ago, eventually crossing the same land bridge into North America. As its numbers grew, many other species' numbers and habitats shrank, and everywhere it went, the human's big brain helped it develop the tools for success. But it also gave it all sorts of ideas about the new animals it came across. In Asia, people wrongly came to think that bear bile helped cure common ailments and started killing and imprisoning bears for their gallbladders, which they do to this day. Combined with habitat destruction, this has decimated the Asiatic black bear population, which has been cut in half in the last 3 decades alone. Meanwhile, in America, fewer people hunted bears after they decided they were pretty cute. More recently, North Americans have also moved much more rapidly from farms to urban areas, and the new growth forests that are popping up in their absence happen to be the perfect habitat for bears. In fact, it's so good that there are now about twice as many black Bruins roaming the woods of North America as there were when European colonists first arrived 500 years ago. The North American ferrets haven't been so lucky. Their primary food source, the prairie dog, was happy eating grass and breeding like crazy until ranchers, worried that there wouldn't be any mush left for their cows, shot the cute little fuzzy wuzzies into near extinction. With nothing to eat, the ferrets went extinct in the wild. Asian ferrets, on the other hand, have a favorite food source that humans haven't killed off, and they're still thriving in most parts of Europe and Asia. So it's not like the Asian ferret and the American bear are better species than their close cousins, whatever that even means. They just got lucky that humans in their part of the world didn't decide to ferret out their favorite food or bear down on their bile.
So what can we do to ensure that ecosystems don't bear the brunt of our actions?
Now that's a pun.
Are our puns becoming unbearable? We'll take a look at answering that first question in our next video. And as for the puns, They don't bug me.
Get it?
Earth's ecosystems have always been changing, with species mixing and mingling thanks to migrations, freak events, and slow creeping expansions. But since we humans arrived on the scene, we've put things into fast forward, moving plants, animals, and other organisms around the globe, whether intentionally or not. Once in a while, one of these transplants might have an evolutionary quirk, like deadly poison, a lack of predators, or a voracious appetite, that unexpectedly helps it dominate its new territory. Earthworms, for example, were introduced into North America by European settlers and have been inching across the continent ever since, tilling soil and improving crop yields as they go. But if a newcomer starts to harm us or a part of the environment we care about, we'll call it an invasive species. Technically speaking, humans aren't invasive, because we don't usually consider ourselves an ecological threat to ourselves. But other species certainly are. One way they get our attention is by costing us money. A lot of money. The US spends billions of dollars fighting invasive weeds like the pretty but pesky yellow rocket flower that chokes fields and creeps onto golf courses and lawns. Other invaders wreak so much havoc on fragile ecosystems that we can't help but notice even if billions aren't at stake. For example, the yellow crazy ant, a likely native of Southeast Asia, has been nom-nom-nomming many beloved and endangered Australian creatures since its arrival several decades ago. These little ants feast on nearly anything and everything in their path. Insects, amphibians, birds, small mammals, even the famous red crabs on Australia's Christmas Island, which used to keep the island's undergrowth in check. Without them, the ecosystem has veered into
The red
chaos.
crabs are like one
But
of the worst
noticing invasive
mothers in the
species
world.
is easy. Dealing with them is the real bugger. When we brought rabbits to New Zealand for food and fur, they escaped and bred like, well, rabbits, overrunning the country. So we introduced ferrets to control the rabbits, but they too spread like wildfire, generally ignoring the rabbits while gobbling up rare species like the now nearly extinct kakapo. New Zealand is still overrun by both furry fiends, and this is just one of many well-meaning attempts at biological control that have ended in disaster. The best way to fight an invasion is to first arm ourselves with knowledge.